Hey guys, Carl's from Immortals Inc. Today I have Tom with me, our 40K guy, supposedly. So we're going to go over like a quick turn of 40K. Right now we got a, because I don't ever play as much as I should, and I forget the basic rules, but then Tom went over the basic rules and I understood the basic rules. So this is kind of like one turn of 40K, which can be overwhelming when you start.
40K can be overwhelming if you start with all the rules. We're starting with just the basic unit rules, very few stratagems. We are playing the first mission out of the core codex, which is basically just fight each other and
don't die.
Don't die.
So I have 500 points of orcs.
You have 500 points of orcs. You have a orc war boss.
Right here.
2 units of orc squig hog riders.
These guys on big old orange things.
Yep. And 2 units of orc boys.
Yep, these guys that are just, a mob.
Yes, big mob.
And basically all the rules are basically on 3 sheets here. You need the codexes to use these, but
yes,
this is how simple it can be. He has 500 points of
Space Marine Space Wolves. I have Ragnar Blackmane.
Big guy over here.
2 units of 5 Assault Intercessors.
Little guys over here.
And a Redemptor Dreadnought.
Big dude right here.
Yes.
Which, if you don't know, this is the most fascinating part for me, like, of the 40K universe.
A dead Space Marine.
Yeah, basically a dreadnought.
Coffin.
Yeah. Hey, your brain still works, but nothing else works. We're going to put you in this machine. It's like, all right, because I could probably get behind that concept.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, so that's the concept of those. If you're mortally wounded, they make you into a war walking.
Yeah, and you can sleep for like 100 years before they need you.
Yes.
Which I could use.
Fair enough.
All right, so go ahead. Start us off, Tom.
So we start off in the command phase. Well, we start off by rolling off to see who goes first. So
give me a die.
Everything in 40K uses a D6. So
I got 4.
I got a 5.
Of course he does.
So I'll go first, starting off in my command phase. So with Space Marines, with your command phase, you can use litanies, auras, other certain abilities that Space Marines have.
Just real quick, what's command phase?
So command phase is the beginning of your turn. So at the beginning of your command phase, you get a command point, a CP, to use for stratagems, rerolls. That's about it. Also, certain races, like Space Marines, have chaplains, religious leaders who can recite religious litanies to boost the morale and combat effectiveness of their troops.
I know that, but that translates into every army. Every army's got something like that, right?
Yes, every army has something like that. So orcs have the Wa, which they can call, which is an ability they can use in their command phase to let them advance and charge and hit harder.
I know, like Eldar have probably psychics or something like that.
Yeah, Eldar have basically miracle dice, which they can use.
Tau have different things. Like every army has something equivalent to that.
Yes, every army has something to do in the command phase. And these 2 500-point lists, we don't have a whole lot to do, but it is something we need to mention that it happens.
In more advanced games, there's like a buttload of them.
Yes, in more advanced games, I'd be going to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but right now we're only going to use 2 things we can do, which is a reroll.
A reroll.
Uh-huh.
And we'll also use a few other random stratagems. Overwatch, so if you're charged, you can shoot at the unit charging you. We'll use Insane Bravery, which at the end of your turn, if you lose units, you can either roll for morale or you can use Insane Bravery. It's a once per game stratagem where they just pass the morale phase.
And stratagems cost command points.
Correct.
And you get so many a turn.
Correct.
And then you start out with 4.
Depending on your army list and how you build it.
So it can vary.
It can vary.
Okay.
So these 2 lists, we're just starting with 4 command points. So at the beginning of each command phase, we both get a command point. So we both go to 5 CP to use however we want.
You go first, so.
So I go first. So we'll go to the movement phase. So the movement phase is very basic. You just look at your data sheets, and it has a number, and you move your units that far. Now, you have choices when you're moving. You can either do your standard move or you can advance. If you advance, you roll a d6 and add that to your movement. And you can move up to whatever you rolled. If you do advance, you can only shoot assault weapons, and that's it. You can't perform actions or anything else. So we're just going to move our guys up here a smidge. Each Space Marine has a 6-inch move. And we want to make sure we stay in cohesion with the unit. So if you have a unit with 5 or less models in it, they have to be within 2 inches of each other. If you have 6 or more, they have to be within 2 inches of 2 models. So our Space Marines here just have to be within 2 inches of each of one model.
All right.
Whereas the Orcs need to be within 2 inches of 2 models.
I already see where I'm in violation over there, so I have to fix it.
If for whatever reason you're not in unit cohesion, they basically run away scared and you lose guys out of your model for no good reason.
So basically, cohesion is you're together as a unit.
Right.
If you do not stay within that unit, your guys panic and run away.
Correct.
Or their unit loses efficiency, basically.
Correct. Now we have the Redemptor Dreadnought, which has a movement of 8 inches. Now, not unlike almost every vehicles, these vehicles have decaying statistics. So as they take damage, their profiles change on what they hit and how far they can move, so forth, so on.
But that's after they take damage, right?
That's after they take damage. We're going to advance Ragnar here. 2, so he normally has a 6-inch move. Plus 2, he goes 8. So we're keeping him right next to the Dreadnought because he has an ability or an aura that any friendly Space Marine core unit, which all of these are, on a hit roll of 1, they get to re-roll it.
I understand.
So we'll be using that hopefully to shoot some orcs. So after the movement phase, we go to the psychic phase. If you have any psychic units, which are basically magic powers, this is when you'd be using them. We don't have any, so...
Is that phase a little more complicated?
No.
No.
That phase consists of using a psychic power, rolling 2d6 to see if you pass, and then the power goes off. And whatever power that happens to be, you follow those rules and use that. And those can go from anywhere to a unit getting a shield to prevent damage to dealing direct damage to another unit.
Can the opponent counter that?
Yes.
With another psychic?
If the opponent has another psyker or a unit that can counter psychic abilities, they have to roll 2d6 and have to roll higher than your roll to counter the psychic ability.
Oh, that's pretty basic.
Yes. So everything's really basic. There's just a lot of it to kind of keep tabs on.
That's fine. So that's every phase. So this is second phase with psychic.
Phase 3 is psychic.
Okay.
And then we're going into the shooting phase.
So I noticed that you're doing you do one phase and then I do.
So in the turn there's each turn we each go through the 7 phases.
So you do your turn first, you do your 7 phases, then I do it.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
So next phase.
So now we go to the shooting phase. So the only units I really have with guns are the Dreadnought.
These guys have guns. Oh, they have pistols.
They have pistols.
Okay.
These are Space Wolves. These are Space Vikings. They want to fight.
Close combat.
We're a little bit outside of range of pistols, but we should be in range for the Dreadnought. This Redemptor Dreadnought is carrying a Onslaught Gatling cannon, a heavy flamer, and 2 Fragstorm grenade launchers, each which has a range. So all ranges are made from the base of the model, and then you just have to draw a direct line to the others. So nothing's in range of my Fragstorm grenade launchers.
Thank God. That sounds...
But my heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon has a range of 30.
Yeah.
Which you are in range of.
Perfect.
So normally I'd like to target your Warlord, but because of the Lookout Sir rule, and because of the rigors of combat...
The Lookout Sir rule, I remember that because I used it a lot, is the guy next to you will push you out of the way heroically, or
Right. Basically,
if you're shooting my main guy, and then the look out, sir rule is like he's going to try and target him. This guy will be like, oh no, look out, and he'll push him out of the way.
right. So basically, how it works is because there is a unit of more than 3 models that is closer to me than he is, I can't target him because there's so much going on in the field of combat. I can't specifically point him out.
I don't think that adds realism. I think this just adds dramatic and the ability to use bigger models more often.
Probably. Also, knowing orcs, though, he probably did just shove him in front of him.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
As an orc, I would. This guy would probably push him out of the way. This guy would pull him in the way.
Right.
Which I'm not opposed to either, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, Space Marines, we're shooting the Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon. We're targeting this squad of 10 orc boys here. I have a weapon profile of heavy 12, so I get 12 shots. So you need 12 dice.
This game is heavy on D6s.
Yes, you're going to need a couple of them. The Redemptor Dreadnought has a ballistic skill of 3, so I'm hitting on 3s. And
how did you get the 3?
Ballistics. On each data sheet, it'll say
ballistic skill.
What your ballistic skill is.
Right, so it's real simple.
Yeah.
You need a 3 to hit. It is what it
yeah.
is.
So I need a 3 just to hit your orcs.
So the codexes and all the rules will tell you what you need to hit. It's real simple. Before there was a chart, wasn't there? Like
there's a chart, and thank God they got rid of it.
Yeah,
that was the worst thing.
There was a chart based on it. It doesn't matter, but it's a lot simpler now.
Yeah, so basically every unit basically has a weapon skill and a ballistic skill.
See, that's how the old rules. That's how I got confused. Immediately, I'm like, how did you get that 3? Don't just say 3.
Yeah.
But now it's
I have played the old rules, and this is a lot simpler.
Yeah,
so basically how this works is a unit will say, hey, I'm either hitting on a 3, a 4, a 5, whatever number it has to be, and you have to roll that number or above, and you hit.
But it's right here, so go ahead.
It's listed in all the codexes.
I noticed my number's a lot higher than your number.
Yes, because orcs want to fight. Orcs don't want to shoot. So orc shooting isn't the best, but their fighting is really good.
It's over the top. I don't think I'm going to get there. But go ahead.
Oh, you're going to get there.
No.
So we'll roll 12 dice.
And they're all
pretty decent. So because Ragnar's next to him, we get to re-roll our 1s.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
These 2 miss, so they didn't hit.
So, the averages are good, right?
Right. So Space Marines, because we're highly trained soldiers, we shoot good. So we've gotten 10 hits.
Cool.
Now we take the strength of this weapon, which is 6.
Oh, boy.
And we compare it to the toughness of the target, which in this case is 5.
Oh, it's
5.
It's 5.
Right. So to wound the target, and this is probably the most complicated part of the game, right here. To wound the target, I have to roll the 3. If my strength and your toughness are the same, no matter what numbers they are, I wound you on a 4. If my strength is higher than your toughness, I wound you on a 3. If my strength is double your toughness, I wound you on a 2. A 1 is an automatic fail.
Okay.
If your toughness is higher than my strength, I wound you on a 5. If it's double, I wound you on a 6.
So this guy's toughness is 5, and
right.
your weapon strength is
6.
So it's 1 above, so you need a 3.
That's right.
So 4 is the middle.
Well,
and that's always
4 is the middle on the dice, yes,
yeah.
And that's a constant no matter what the strength and the toughness are. So if I have a strength 8 weapon and you have a toughness 8, I'm still wounding you on a 4.
All right.
Right. And basically this is just how easy it is to wound you.
That makes a lot more sense because like I said before, when I played before, there was charts and there was ups and
right.
downs.
No charts.
So this is real simple.
Right. So now I take all those hits and now I roll to wound you.
Oh, come on.
That's not that bad. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7 wounds. So now, I have an armor penetration characteristic of 1. You would take your save of 6, add 1 to that, because I have an armor penetration, so you'd need to roll a 7 on a d6.
I can't.
You can't. So technically these orcs wouldn't have a save. But because they're beast snagas and they're really tough, they have a 6-up invuln.
That's in the rules, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. So on the rule chart, it says on that same little chart where you find the weapons and the ballistic skill and the toughness. There's also at the end of it says save, and it'll give you the number plus.
Right.
So like on the orcs here, it's 6+, but because he's got some crazy weapon that goes through everything, it's 7. But these guys are nuts. Apparently, they're
well, they're just super
hyped up.
Hard to kill.
Caffeine ridden.
Right.
So I have 7 wounds.
7 wounds.
So let me borrow 7 dice.
There you go.
So I have to get 6 or better on each of these dice.
Right, because you have a 6-up invuln, and the invulns can never be changed. They're a constant.
Invulnerable save. That's what that's short for, right?
Yes, sir.
Huh, nothing.
So you didn't save any of them.
I don't even get extras for these ones I got.
No.
What if I add them all together?
Yeah, it'd probably be worse. Now, you can, if you want, spend a command point to try to re-roll to save one of your orcs.
No.
Okay.
It's 1 orc. So I got 7 wounds.
So 7 wounds out of 7 shots. Each wound deals 1 damage.
These guys only have, I'm going to look at the little chart again.
1 wound.
1 wound.
Right. So 7 orcs, unfortunately, would perish.
Are going to go bye-bye.
Correct.
So do I have to take in order from the front to the back?
So, no. As the controlling player, you decide where the damage is dealt and who gets it. Now, on multi-wound units, such as your Squig Hog Riders, if you take 1 damage and put it on him, in subsequent turns, if you take more damage, it has to go on the damaged model.
You have to keep damaging the same model until
Right.
it's gone.
In this case...
Well, like the leader here, the Beast Snaga boy, Nob, no,
Right.
has
He has
2
2
wounds.
wounds. But you might want to keep him alive.
Which is going to be this guy, so he's going to stay.
Right.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just pulling them off the back because everybody else would fill in. 5, 6.
You might want to take this guy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait. No, he was part of this unit over here.
Was he?
3, 6, 9. Yeah. 10. So you got three orcs left.
3 orcs left.
Right. So
That's traumatic.
it's not that bad because there's lots of orcs.
Not no more.
Well, we're working on it. So that would be the end of my shooting phase. If I had any other units that were in range to shoot, I would continually keep shooting.
These guys only have pistols.
These guys only have pistols and chainswords.
And this is like, okay.
Yeah.
So this is what, it adds a bit, and in no terms is this realistic. But this guy is actually a long rifle, like a longer rifle with a more powerful gun.
Right.
On this, that's why the range is longer. He has a rocket launcher, which I don't know why that would be a shorter range, but
You were just out of it.
and then the pistols, of course, are only pistols.
Right.
They're made to be shorter range. But.
Right. Now, pistols, you can shoot them in combat, unlike other weapons.
Yeah, hand to hand.
Right.
Yeah, that's where it comes. Like they add a little bit of like, okay, let's take some real world tactics or abilities or use and say, okay, how do we put this into a game?
Right. Now, under normal game, those guys maybe put in the cover would have been a little bit better, but we're just learning, so it's okay.
Well, I just figured they're orcs. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't know. I don't play orcs.
Yeah, as you should.
I know.
No.
Ultramarine should it be all the time, but that's just me.
I didn't have any painted, I'm sorry.
Stop. Okay.
So after the end of the shooting phase, we go to the charge phase.
Oh.
You have to be within 12 inches to charge a unit. And charging is the only way you can get into combat. And I'm not within 12 inches. So I won't be charging you.
Now, there's a question because I've been thinking, during my movement phase, if I advance, can I then charge during the charge phase?
Normally, no, unless specifically stated on the unit data card. Orcs do have a command ability called Wa, which lets them advance and charge. Army-wide.
Okay, so I already see that already. Like, I could try to do this and that. And,
Right.
Okay.
So, during your turn, if you wanted to, you could call the Wa, you could advance and charge into my army, if you're close enough.
Nah, that sounds like work.
You are orcs.
I know. So, anyway, go ahead.
So, after the charge phase, we do the fight phase.
Oh, wait, one last thing. Any
Sure.
unit can charge, right?
Any unit can charge.
So even this Dreadnought can walk up. If you have a tank, it can charge.
Yes, every unit can
Anything.
charge. Unless it is a aircraft vehicle, which is flying,
Yeah.
those can only charge other aircraft that are flying.
Obviously.
So,
All right. Which I'm not really sure how that works, but
Right.
that'll be another day.
then we go into the fight phase. Nothing's charged.
Fight
so
solely if you're in melee.
melee, yes. Which you should be in melee next turn.
Maybe.
No, you're going to come along. You need to. Yeah.
No.
Then we go to the morale phase. Morale phase is if a unit has lost guys, you have to roll for morale.
Mm-hmm. So this lost 70% of its unit.
Right. So your leadership, or LD on that, should be 7?
7.
7. So to roll morale, you take 1d6, you roll it, and before you do this, you take the number you roll plus the number of units you've lost, and if that is higher than your leadership, one of your orcs runs away.
So I need a 1.
Ones are always a pass, no matter what the number is. The other alternative is you could spend 2 command points on Insane Bravery. It's a 1 per use per game ability, stratagem, and you auto-pass morale.
I'm going to use 2 command points to auto-pass morale.
There you go.
Now, had I not done that, it takes me down to 3 command points.
Right.
I'm not even going to roll it. It'll just split.
So if you hadn't done that, what would happen is an orc would run away.
Yeah, the whole unit would run away.
No, just one orc runs away from the unit. Then you have to roll another test to see if the other orcs run away. Which you would take however many units are left, roll, in this case it would be 2. You'd roll 2d6, and on a 1, they would run away. If you have lost more than 50% of your unit, it's a 1 and a 2. They run away.
All right, that seems a little complicated.
So yeah, it's actually not that complicated, but spending the 2 command points in this case probably the right call.
Yeah, because I feel if they run away, the other ones will run away. And
Well,
it's
probably
a
not.
possibility. But
So that would be the end of my turn. So then we would go to your command phase. So we'd both get a command point. So you'd go back up to 4, and then we'd go to your command phase. So your decision right now is if you call the WA or not.
how many command points is that?
Calling the WA is free. As a command ability, you can use anytime you want,
So what?
but it's a once per game.
What does it give me?
So if you call the WA, all orc units can advance and charge this turn,
No matter what,
no matter what.
even if I'm not in range.
Well, you can advance, and then if you're in range, you can charge. Because you always have to be within 12 inches. But these guys have, 14-inch move?
Some ridiculous move.
Squig Hog Riders have a 10-inch move? 10-inch move. So that's 10 inches,
Plus a D6 roll.
plus a D6. That could get you very close to charging.
All right, we're going to do that.
Also, it gives you +1 to attack, +1 to your strength on all your orc units, and you get a 5-up invuln instead of a 6-up.
All right, so we're going to call the WOG. It's free.
It's a WA, but yeah, it's free.
WOG. Sorry, my pronunciation is strange.
Every orc player is going to be commenting on this video right now.
WOG. All right, what am I
So
doing?
there's your D6 for your advancing.
Do I do each unit or do one?
So you do each unit separately. So which move? So here's your tape
do this guy
measure.
first.
So we're going to move these guys first. They have a movement of 5,
6.
but you can use a command point to re-roll that.
Yeah.
You can't re-roll anything else this phase on a CP re-roll.
Well, I probably should have not done it, but
Well, that's okay, because 4 is
4,
better.
6, so 9.
9, so 9 inches. I'll let you move them. So that puts these guys right over this barrier.
And we can go over this barrier with no problems, or
For this game, we're saying yes. There is a whole slew of terrain rules that
yeah, I was gonna say
will
but
be an entire video of it itself.
We'll say it's a low fence. Like this, obviously, I couldn't just go over.
Right. You can go through it, though, because it's ruins.
Yeah.
So you got your war boss. I don't know if you want to move him up.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm gonna do the
Advancing.
so 8.
So 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 inches puts him,
Behind this thing.
yeah, right, which is fine.
All right, stay right here, buddy. Stay right there, buddy.
All right.
These guys, we're also going to do that. Come on, give me some good rolls here. There's a 5. There's 10.
10 inches. These orcs are moving. So that puts you right on the other side of this fence.
So
well, the lead guys.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, one thing to remember is, and we're being a little loose with it now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when you start playing, each model only moves that distance. So you really got to be careful when
I'm
you're
trying to keep them back here. So.
Yeah, when you're moving.
This
stuff.
is not exact here. We're just playing real quick, but like you would have to measure each guy to make sure it's 10 inches.
Right. That or a lot of people, if you have large armies like this with a lot of individual units, will use movement trays.
Yeah, I like those. So, yeah, you would just move them, but it's not even that hard. Just you set the thing and then you just kind of move it, and that's generally how it is. It's
after a few games, it goes very quickly.
Yeah. Plus, you can kind of eyeball it up, and as long as both players are casual, which we're always casual here, as long as it's not coming down to like, yeah, I'm going to move him here. That's people get a little bent. But anyway, all right. So, last guys. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're keeping in cohesion. So these two units have a movement of 10.
I'm going to do this guy first.
All right. So 14 inches.
I'm going to come around this way.
So because it's there, you got to kind of bend it around a little bit. Yeah. So he's going to be right around there.
Moink. Moink. And would Dad say that's fair, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then those guys straight ahead. Of course.
15. That's pretty good. What are you saying?
Run over these guys and not worry about it.
I mean, technically no, but that's fine.
These guys seem to be in a little straighter line. But
yeah.
That's fine.
All right, so there's your movement. Now, if you have any assault weapons, you can shoot them, which I believe the Squig Hog Riders do.
These guys?
Yeah, the Squig Hog boys. Will be listed, right? So you do have a few assault weapons, right? But they have a pretty short range of only 8 inches. Which, unfortunately, you are not in.
What about this 12-inch sticker?
That, however, you are in range. So...
They can use all these at once?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. So these 3 guys are in range of this unit with their sticker, and just that guy's in range of those guys with his sticker.
All right, so 3 guys with the stick over here.
Right. So how many attacks does the sticker get?
It's assault 1.
1. Assault 1. So, he has 3 guys, 3 attacks. But here's the thing.
User -2.
Well, that's
strength. Yeah.
Yeah. Because...
Oh, that's the armor piercing.
Yeah. Because you advanced, your ballistic skill gets +1.
So...
Instead of 5s, you're hitting on 6s.
What?
Orcs don't like to shoot. They like to fight.
Nothing.
2
1s and a 4.
That's okay, though, because you want to fight. You don't want to shoot.
Then this guy gets 1.
Right. All right, so...
Wah, wah, wah.
Typical orc shooting. So that would be your shooting phase. So now we go to the charge phase. Anything that's within 12 inches, you can declare a charge.
Oh, charge.
So these guys can charge, these guys can charge, he can charge, can charge, can charge.
Oh, this could be problematic for you.
Now the fun thing about orcs is, there's 2 dice for your charge. They have an ability called Here We Go. If they fail the charge, they can re-roll it.
Here we go. You can re-roll charge rolls made for this unit with this ability. It seems to be all of them.
Yes.
All right, so it's 2d6. 2d6.
2d6. You have to be within 12 inches to declare a charge, and you have to roll within 1 inch of the unit that you're charging.
You have to end up within 1 inch.
Right. So, are you declaring these guys?
Yeah.
So those guys are charging. They are a little over 8 inches away, or a little over 7.
I was going to say.
So you need a 7 to make that charge.
7.
7. So they just make the charge. So they're 1 inch out. Now after a charge, you have a pile-in, which is 3 inches. You can move the unit.
Nice.
So which way would you like to move those units?
Well,
3 inches.
You scoot over that way 3 inches.
Scoot them over this way 3 inches.
So we get all the rest of these guys in.
All right. More the merrier.
I feel
Orky?
that this is not something I would like to do.
All right. So to get these Squig Hog Riders in, you need a 9 to get at least one rider in.
And if I get one rider in, the rest pile in.
Well, they could pile in with that 3 inches, but a minimum of 9.
Oh, damn it.
So you can get to re-roll that one because it fell off the table.
Nope.
So a big 5. But here we go.
Here we go. Come on, you jerks. Oh, look at that. 9.
9.
Bam.
So just made it in.
So I had to be mean to him. That's what I had to do.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you just made it in with a 9.
Come on, you jerks.
So these guys all come this way.
Now, these guys are all considered to be in melee.
Right.
This unit and these guys.
Right.
Not
So
this
now,
one. Not these guys.
these guys are not in combat.
Got it.
So now you have to do a pile in. So let you move your 3 inches in. So in this case, you'd have
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 of the Squig Hog guys.
So these guys aren't actually in melee.
Correct.
Melee. They are part of the unit.
They are engaged in the fight, but because they're so far back, they're not in melee.
They're like the guy pushing the quarterback on a quarterback sneak, right?
Pretty much.
They're pushing from
Pretty
behind,
much.
not counting for anything.
Now, because of your Orc Boy, you could make a long bomb 12 because he's going to have to go all the way around through the building to get on the side here.
Ooh, if he fails, what's the negative?
You get to roll it again.
Or once he fails again,
He just stands there.
can he still do anything else?
No, because we're in the charge phase.
I mean, there's nothing else really.
Right. So if you make the charge, he makes the charge. If you don't, he doesn't.
It'd be dumb not to try, right?
Right. Why not?
Well, because I feel that you're misleading me in some way.
I would never.
Up, wait.
So
I
here
got
we
6. Here we go.
Big 6.
Well, 6 and 6 is 12, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't work like that.
No.
All right, so those guys made it into combat, and now we have these
Oh, yeah.
orcs. You need a big 9 to get these guys into the fight.
Oh, boy.
And then here we go.
That was an 8. That was a 3.
So they didn't quite make it.
They just stand there,
Now these guys,
looking pretty.
you're going to need a big 10.
You'd think you would get a higher roll, like another die, because they're on this. They're on.
Unfortunately, everybody gets
Wasn't a one where you had 3d6 at one point?
Some units, you do have special stratagems and abilities where they
Anybody
do get,
see that? It's a 2-1, so that's my typical. Here we go.
They do get longer charges. In this case,
Oh, look at that. That's epic.
you didn't get it.
These dice suck. Throw them away.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We got extra dice for you. Boom. All right, so now I have the option with hero characters to make what's called a heroic intervention. If you're within 3 inches of a hero character, which would be my warlord, I could heroically intervene. I'm not within 3 inches, so I can't heroically intervene.
Which would mean you'd, what, jump in front?
I would basically join the combat.
That'd be a bad idea.
Right.
Well,
So, now we go to the fight phase. And because you called the WA, and it's the fight phase, and because you charged, you get to pick a unit that charged to fight first.
it's got to be that one.
Okay, so with this unit of 3, you have your leader with the Snag-a-Claw, and then you have the 2 with the Choppas.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with the Choppas. So each Beast Snag-a-Nob gets 3 attacks. Oh, I'm sorry. Each Beast Snag-a-Boy gets 2 attacks. Now, because it was on the WA, you get an extra attack. And because you got a Choppa, you get an extra attack.
Oh, man. This is just those 2 little guys?
This is just those 2 guys. Now,
And I need a...
weapon skill of 3 to hit.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. Oh, man. Well,
It doesn't matter.
it's a 3.
All right, so those all hit. Right?
So I got 7 hits out of 8.
7 hits. Now, your strength 5, but because of the wall, your strength 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Your Choppa is your melee profile, which is 6. So it's strength 6 to my toughness of 4, which means you're wounding on a 3.
So what do? Roll these again?
Roll all those again. Big threes.
You need 3 or better.
3 or better.
Oh, look at that.
All right, so you got
4 hits.
4 wounds.
4 wounds, rather.
All right. So now I'm a Space Marine. I have a save of 3. You have an armor penetration of 1.
So you have a save of 4.
Right. But Space Marines all have an ability.
Of course they do.
Right. Of course they do.
Specifically for whatever benefit you have.
That is correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Which gives them they ignore the first AP1.
So it's back to 4.
So it's back to a 3-up save.
Or 3 up save.
So we'll roll.
Oh, of course.
So they saved them all because we're the mighty Space Marines.
Terrible.
And I'm just really good at rolling those dice.
I see.
But it's okay because you still got your
Oh yeah.
Beast Snabba Knob, who gets 3 attacks normally, plus 1 because of the Wah, and he's hitting on 3s.
So we got 4 attacks, right?
4 attacks.
That's 3 attacks.
3 hits. Right now, but his strength is plus 2 because it's a power snappa. So he has a strength of 5, 6 because of the Wah, 7, 8 because of the weapon. Now, because it's double my toughness, you're wounded on 2s.
On 2s. Oh, figures.
Well, that's a cocked dice, so you can re-roll it.
Oh, unbelievable.
So you got 2 wounds, right?
Yep.
Now this one's AP2, right?
So
I ignore the first AP because I'm a Space Marine.
the second one you don't, so you're up to 4 now.
So 2 4-ups. So I save 1 and I fail 1.
So you take 1 wound. After
Well,
maybe.
The Power Snapper does 2 damage.
Oh, so you take
Each
2
one of my Space Marines only has 2 wounds.
because they're Primaris.
That's right. So I'm going to spend a command point.
Oh, come on.
You do the same to me. And re-roll this to try to save my Space Marine. Which I do.
Oh, come on. That's unbelievable.
But hey, you still got 2 Squig Hog Riders to fight back.
All right, let's see how that goes.
Now, the Squig Hog Riders have quite a few profiles. So we'll go through these. So you have 2 Squig Hog Riders. Each one gets 3 attacks.
So there's 6.
Right. So we'll start with the Stickas. So they're hitting on 3s.
Do I get extras for being woggy?
That's right. So you get 2 extra ones for being woggy. Need more dice?
Yep.
We need more dice. There you go. That should be
2
enough.
for being woggy.
Yep. And 3 each. So, on 3s.
Do I get something for the charge?
No.
Huh.
Space Marines do, though.
Next. What do I need? 3?
You need 3s to wound.
So
that many wounded. So, strength, 5. 6 for the Wah. 7 for the weapon. So, because you're still above but not doubled, you're still on 3s to wound. So 3 wounds.
3 wounds.
All right. And that's an AP2. So because of my Space Marine armor,
You get -1.
-1, so I'm on 4-ups.
Oh, cocked dice.
Which we save.
Unbelievable. All right.
Which we save. But, you know what? You still got stuff to attack with because they got their little Gretchen buddies back there. Saddle get weapons.
Look at that. Gretchens.
So each guy gets an additional attack with those, so you get 2 attacks.
Oh, 1. Okay, 2. 1
Yeah.
each, right?
1 each. Right? And they're hitting on 3s.
Ugh, it's a 6 over here. This is cocked. And so 2.
All right. Now it's only strength 3 though,
Yeah,
because
so
they're little Gretchen. So because your strength is lower than my toughness,
I need a
you
5.
need a 5.
1.
So 1 wound. AP1, which goes to AP0, which I actually fail.
Oh, so all that, one guy takes a nick.
So 1 Space Marine, he took a wound.
Unfathomable.
Now you still have your Squig Hog Jaws. All right. So each time the bear fights, it makes 2 additional attacks with this weapon.
Did you call? So 2
2 more each, because these are the
Okay.
squig hogs that they're actually riding are trying to bite my feet. So on 3s.
So 4.
4 hits. So it's a strength 6, still toughness 4.
So it's a 4.
3s.
3s.
Yeah, because your strength is higher.
Yeah, that's kind of total on. So there's 3, 4.
4
wounds.
All right, so the squig hog jaws are AP 1.
So you're back to just normal. So it's
Normal 3 ups.
Come on. Oh.
Ah, so I save 2 and 2 go through. So they're 2 damage each. So this guy absorbs 1, and then the other 2 goes to this guy, and these Space Marines perish.
All right, I see how this numbers game plays out in the long run.
Right.
I see how it works out.
But now I get to fight back.
Go on.
Okay. Now because I'm a Space Marine, and you charged me, and we're Angels of Death, I get +1 to my attack.
Why?
You called the wall, you got +1 to your attack, so it's only fair.
I had to call something. You guys just show up. No, I get +1.
Oh, Angels of Death, yes.
Okay. Who made that rule?
Because I'm Space Wolves,
Oh, yeah.
their chapter tactic is, if they charged or are charged, they get +1 to hit. So normally I'd be
charged
hitting,
or are charged is literally in the rules that you have. See, this is where
Yes.
I'm getting mad. Go ahead. I'm not getting mad. Not getting mad.
so normally I'd be hitting on 3s, but now I'm hitting on 2s.
Just feel I need to read a codex.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea. I like to go
I
to
didn't
the
write
table totally unprepared.
So each Space Marine gets 2 attacks.
Although that does make sense, to be honest with you.
The Sergeant gets 3 attacks, who also has a chain sword. The chain sword gives me an extra attack. And because they were viciously charged, I get an extra attack.
Viciously charged.
Viciously charged.
Oh, that's in the rule book, huh?
That's what it says.
It does
Viciously
say that?
charged. Yes.
Does it say that?
Now-
I'm calling that out. Mikey, find that in the rule book.
I am within 6 inches of my Warlord, so I'm re-rolling 1s to hit.
Oh, of course.
So I'm hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. There's a 1. There we go. All hit.
Just make it a 6, why don't you?
Well, the 6s don't matter with this army. Unfortunately, my chain swords are only strength 4.
Oh.
Your toughness is 5.
Oh.
So I need 5s to wound you.
Wait, this is all chainsword attacks?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Only chain swords on these guys. So I need 5s.
No pistols.
No pistols. That would be in the shooting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. Now, because these are AP 1, and you have a 6-up save, normally they just go right through. But because you called the WA, you have a 5-up invul, which I can't change.
So I get to take these.
And roll some 5s.
Say that again. So I call the WOG, which is a special thing I can do once a turn.
Once a game.
WOG. So, this once a turn, it's a special thing that they do where they just kind of like power over.
Right.
They just go crazy. I can do that once. I get the additional benefits.
Yes.
Of the 5-up invulnerable save.
Absolutely.
So I got 5 or better on these dice, and I'll save these wounds.
Yes, you will.
Oh, well, 2 of them saved.
So you save 2, so 3 go through. So they're only 1 damage each.
So these 3 guys die.
Well, your knob has how many wounds?
2.
2 wounds.
Well, he's got to die. So 1, 2, 3.
Well, or you could go, this guy dies, and this guy only has 1 wound.
I can do that?
You can do that because you assign where the wounds go.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that then. So these
Yeah.
guys die. This guy has 1 wound, which will represent
With this fancy dice over here that we use for tracking wounds. And there's 1,000,001 different ways people use.
Yeah, it
track
doesn't
wounds.
matter. There's no set way to do it.
Right.
You can use counters or...
So from there...
use something, because that'll lead to a big argument.
Yes. So after that, we would go to the morale phase. Right? Now...
For you.
Well, for both of us. So I lost 2 Space Marines. They have a leadership of 8. So I can't fail. Even if I roll a 6,
You roll 6. You
7,
lost
8.
2.
It's not over their leadership, so they're fine.
Got it. So we don't even roll.
Because they're stoic. Your orcs, however, you did lose 2, right? Mm-hmm. And he has a leadership of 7?
I think it's 7.
So he has a leadership of 7. So roll low.
I need a 1.
No.
I lost 2.
You lost 2.
Oh, so yeah, I got it.
Right. So you take 4, 5, 6. It's under 7. He's still in the fight.
Still good. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, morale always confused me for some crazy reason, but now that I've redone it in a casual environment, it's easier.
It's a lot easier to, it's, you roll a d6, add however many guys you lost. If it's over their morale, guy runs away.
Okay.
So that would be turn 1.
So that's a simple turn 1?
Yes, and then we go on to turn 2.
And how many turns in a game? 5?
There are 5 turns in a game.
Uh-huh.
Then after turn 5, normal games you have command points, or, objectives on the board. Each army has specific secondaries. And there's a scoring system that you use to keep tabs on.
But that's more like, this is the real basic version of the game, just kill each other. Like, if you were to keep going, I could see where one side could get wiped out or the other. That's basically the basic version of this, is you go at each other until one's dead. You can go as many turns as you want in a casual game, right?
Absolutely.
So, but in terms of, regular play where you can keep it normal, like if you go to a game store, but if you're at home in your basement and you just want to play all day, that's fine. But they also have objectives. Like somebody, there might be objectives on the board that say, hey, you got to hold this castle or this building, and then, that's how it goes. But that's more advanced stuff like that. But, I suggest when you play, would you suggest that you just play to kill each other at this first point?
The first few games, just to learn the order of operations and the phases and get used to hitting and wounding and saving, just run at each other and try to take the other guy off the board.
Yeah, nothing fancy. Read your basic rules first and go from there. And
absolutely.
Don't do anything crazy, because if you try to do too much at once, you'll get overwhelmed.
Because we can, there's a lot of stratagems you can use. There are a lot of other unit abilities.
See, like stratagem still get me, because I'm like, there's so much to read, and it's like, it's almost like, it's like any game, it's adding something to it, and once you start really getting, like me personally, I would say forget stratagems,
right. And
but you could, right? You could say
absolutely, if you are playing with, if your opponent agrees, hey, we're not going to use stratagems this game, you don't use stratagems.
Yeah, that's
when you are building your lists. Warlords can have warlord traits, relics, which are powerful weapons or armor ability.
Each individual guy could have a special weapon.
Yes, characters can, depending on the armor, you can give them to sergeants. So you can get very in-depth on how you build your lists. Or you can come down and say, hey, look, I just want to play the basic rules. No stratagems, nothing fancy.
And a lot of this is basically get one of them, and I'm not saying to buy these things, but you should. But no, is like one of those starter boxes, what do they call them now, Army?
You have the Army starter boxes.
Man, what do they call them? The battle boxes?
Yeah, the battle boxes. They have the Army starter boxes.
Worst store owner ever.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And each one of those boxes has about 500 points.
And you could start playing there.
Absolutely. You can start playing there, and then you just go.
But this was a good one turn. Real basic stuff here. Real basic armies, orcs, space marines. I mean, space wolves to me are fancy. Like ultramarines would be the basics or something like that. But space wolves have a bunch of stuff going on. Orcs have a bunch of stuff going on. But these are the real basic armies right here, and that's a real basic one turn for each person. And
absolutely.
And we would just keep doing this 5 more times, or until you wipe me off the board, obviously, because I'm pretty sure that thing would just gun everything down.
That's the goal, yes.
Yes. But, that's real basic turn, and I hope this was informative. We hope to do more of these with Tom, and hopefully have other people in here that can do this. We have a nice little room here. If you like this content, go to immortalsinc.com. Mikey's going to put everything in the links in here, and we'll do another one of these. All right, put the comments in the thing, and if you're on Discord talking about me, I'll know.